Day today will have a high of 36 degrees. No more serious accumulation expected. Tonight it will be cloudy, a continued chance for a few snow showers with a low of 31 degrees. And then tomorrow, mostly cloudy, a high of 36. Nothing but sunshine on Thursday with a high of 38.
Support for WNYC comes from Hulu, presenting The United States vs. Billie Holiday, directed by Lee Daniels and starring Andra Day as legendary jazz musician Billie Holiday. Premiering on Hulu February 26th. Awards eligible in all categories.
On the next All of It, we'll hear from Bill Lester, one of only 7 African-American NASCAR drivers in the history of the sport, who recounts his experience in a new book called Winning in Reverse, Defying the Odds and Achieving Dreams. Plus the story of baseball pioneer Effa Manley, owner and co-manager of the Newark Eagles, and the first and only woman to be inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame. I'm Allison Stewart. Join me for All of It, weekdays at noon on WNYC.
Public transit, wear a good mask. Now a hard and fast federal rule.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Avalara, simplifying sales tax compliance with cloud-based solutions. Avalara automatically integrates with more than 700 of the most widely used ERP and e-commerce solutions. Avalara, tax compliance done right. And by Constant Contact, with email marketing, websites, online stores, and other resources, committed to helping small businesses and nonprofits stay connected and do more business online. More at ConstantContact.com.
I'm David Brancaccio. If you're taking the train or bus to work this morning, make sure you grab your face mask and make it a good one. Planes as well. By order of the Centers for Disease Control, masks must now be worn on all public transportation. And not all masks are created equal, though. Marketplace's Nova Safo is here. What are the rules here?
Well, David, face masks on all public transportation. As you mentioned, airplanes, buses, trains, The order also applies to waiting areas such as subway stations and airports. There are exceptions. Children under 2, people with certain disabilities, they don't have to wear a mask. Also, you can take the mask off briefly to eat, drink, or take medication. And there are some other exceptions as well.
Which masks are considered okay and which are not, Nova?
Yeah, here's what doesn't count as a face mask, David. Face shields, scarves, ski masks, balaclavas, bandanas, or any other creative option people have thought of. Your mask has to be 2 or more layers of tightly woven fabric and solid, no slits, exhalation valves, or punctures, and it has to fit snugly over your face, covering the mouth and nose, both.
What did New York Governor Cuomo like to say? Wear a mask, not a chin guard. What's the enforcement here?
Well, technically, if you don't comply, you're now violating federal law. And this is the reason the Flight Attendants Union wanted this order. It backs them up with unruly passengers with the threat of criminal penalties. But the CDC says more likely you could face civil action, though it didn't specify what that would be, and other federal and local agencies are expected to take the lead on enforcement.
All right, Nova, thank you. Volatile shares in GameStop, the video game store, fell more than 30% yesterday, but after its massive, nearly 1,800% rise in January, fueled by amateur investors, it's still a company with a ridiculous amount of new wealth, at least on paper. But stock wealth can be turned into actual resources for a company. Samantha Fields reports.
One way GameStop could try to capitalize on this sudden huge spike in its stock prices would be to issue new stock and sell it while the price is so high, says Chester Spat, a finance professor at Carnegie Mellon University.
Those prices are indicative of what investors would be willing to pay for new stock issued by the company.
That's what Tesla did when its stock went way up, says Siamak Molemi at Columbia Business School.
Tesla has also had a tremendous run-up in its stock over the past year, and they've taken advantage of that by raising billions of dollars in funds by selling stock.
There is risk, he says, in issuing new stock.
That could have the effect of driving the price down, and to the extent that there may be a bubble, perhaps ending the bubble and, game over, if you will.
Or it can pay off, and Molemi says help a company get back on a firm footing and invest in different aspects of the business. I'm Samantha Fields for Marketplace.
S&P, NASDAQ, and Dow futures are all up in the 0.8% range, plus 237 points for the Dow future. During this pandemic era, some say every day seems like Groundhog Day. Oh, wait, it's February 2nd. It's a principle of pricing that often you charge more when a product is launched to first capture the dollars of the keenest early adopter customers willing to pay more and later drop the price to get the next set of customers. Well, this morning, Impossible Foods dropped the cost of its fake meats by 20%.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Progressive Insurance, offering Snapshot, a program that adjusts insurance rates based on safe driving habits. Now that's Progressive. Learn more at progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. And by Fidelity Wealth Management, providing perspective on a client's entire financial picture. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. And by C3.ai. C3.ai software enables organizations to use artificial intelligence at enterprise scale, solving previously unsolvable business problems. Learn more at C3.ai.
Now checking in with black-owned farms, many of which have struggled over generations. So many have disappeared. Our stories from North Carolina where some black millennials have been going back to their family farming roots. Here's WUNC's Leonida Inge.
Julius Tillery is a fifth-generation cotton farmer.
You can call me the Puff Daddy of cotton. People like to call me that.
After graduating from college, he worked in rural development and conservation, but really wasn't getting his hands dirty. He decided it was time to go back home to Northampton County to help his father at Tillery Farms.
So, I looked at what my great-grandfather was able to do and grandfather and even my father, utilizing cotton and keeping our family farm going. So I want to make sure that we change the narrative where people can see pride and ownership around cotton.
So now the 34-year-old Tillery spends a lot of time packing and shipping boxes from his online business, Black Cotton. It turns cotton bolls from a small patch of the farm into wreaths, bouquets, and other home decor. Just over 100 miles away is the Tallgrass Food Box, run out of Durham County. When schools, restaurants, and farmers markets closed in the early months of the coronavirus pandemic, it was especially hard for small black farmers to sell their food. Gabrielle E.W. Carter and friends jumped into action. The 30-year-old helped connect black farmers with customers by creating an online service.
Very fulfilling for me personally, just kind of reconnecting to some of the work that I feel like Black people have, Black women in our communities, especially thinking about my grandmother. Like, this is the type of work we do a lot of times.
The Tallgrass Food Box uses a simple model. People go online and pay $50 for a box of fresh goodies, like collard greens, sweet potatoes, mushrooms, whatever is coming out of the ground. Anna Huckabee, who owns Moonlight Farms, says the boxes saved her business.
It's just been great ever since. Just so much exposure, just being with them.
By the end of December, Tallgrass had raised $80,000 for black farmers in their community. In Durham, North Carolina, I'm Leonida Inge for Marketplace.
Our producers are Meredith Garrettson, Stephen Ryan, Daniel Shin, and Erica Soderstrom. I'm David Brancaccio. This is the Marketplace Morning Report. From 8 p.m., American Public Media.